everyone. Welcome to another Data Vault Q&A. I'm Julien Redmond and I'm joined today by Nols Ebershon. And this Q&A is brought to you by Iris, the best Data Vault automation for a modern data platform. Hi, Nols.
Hi, Julien. Great afternoon.
Yeah, okay. We have another question to test your brain with today. Okay, so this one's nice and short and simple. How do we support dynamic data streams that change on the fly?
Dynamic data streams changing on the fly. I presume that as far as the content is concerned, yes?
I suspect so.
So let's assume that it's as far as the content is concerned. And that may be a challenge if you are of a more traditional approach to structures and database design, because now you have to have dynamic altered table statements and all the rest. And although that is possible, and it's certainly been done on the more traditional platforms, this is where some of the more recent innovations around Parquet, variant data types, and the like have come to the fore. And so a lot of organizations are choosing to have file formats or storage formats like JSON being the predominant exchange format for their data. And that is perfectly fine. It does a great job. It's a lightweight construct. It works very well in high volume environments. So it's here to stay. It is a reality we have to deal with. The beauty of those type of constructs are there is no constraint as to how many columns and what they're called. And it's basically the dynamically grows or organically grows.
Yeah.
As far as Data Vault is concerned, if we leverage some of these technology options where you have support for Parquet, or you're using a warehouse platform like a Snowflake or anything like that that supports native JSON and XML management as part of the platform, then that is very easy. You just simply ingest it and it will naturally adapt without any issue. If you are processing it more on traditional column and row-based relational database, then you will need to run a basic check before you ingest to then make the necessary adjustments on the fly. So even if you do run in more traditional database, relational database constructs, you just need to check the metadata before you process.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the JSON and other storage formats, yes, they allow it to be generally extended. It's not a free lunch, though. Because what if that particular change included a new business key?
Yeah.
And so that needs to be recognized. You need to have a look at the unit of work of your data flowing in. And so you need to have some governance and some alerting, some monitoring that needs to sit on your data too, to say, hey, we've added column X or have an additional change in these particular structures. Please check it out.
Yeah.
And so if you are ingesting it as is, that's okay. It does mean you need to potentially on a periodic basis do a bit of rethinking about the decisions of the data that flow through. Now, 99% of the time when you're dealing with this dynamic or organic growth situation, it is extended descriptive attributes. And so for the most part, that would have very little impact on your design. Because if you are going to introduce new business keys, there would have been a fundamental shift in the actual business process in your applications to be able to capture that additional business key within it. And so it should not come as a surprise. Whereas the organic growth, well, somebody can just go in and do a configuration in a dynamic application and suddenly, voila, you have a whole bunch of additional descriptive attributes. But the default behaviors on that would for the most part, deal with it quite seamlessly. So in case it's a business key, you need monitoring.
Yeah.
You also have to negotiate this type of flexibility or expectation into your interface contracts or your data acquisition contracts that you have with all of the different platforms. If they tell you that these things are going to happen, then by all means, you can provide for that flexibility. You can design for it. If they don't tell you about it, charge them double contract rates. Why double? Because suddenly I have to pull my, my most experienced developer of other value-added work to come and fix something that if they only spoke to us and warned us about it, we could have sorted it out. And I have to backfill that person, etc. So make sure that your contracts have teeth.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, because it's going to impact the business. Because
absolutely
sitting around waiting to do work, are they? So
yes, and if they don't tell you on a regular basis, you have a profit center on your hands.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for that explanation. I think that was a good question. A little bit kind of. You have to really think about that one, I think, going into the question. But yeah,
there are implications. Yes, there's more to it than just a mere mention of the problem. Yes.
Yeah, it probably deserves a deep dive. So if if this struck a chord and you want to have a deep dive, reach out to us. We'd love to have a chat. If you have a question for Nols, please send it through to us. We'd love to, test his brain on other things. But again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I hope my brain passed the test.